Thank you for listening to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast, where 518 golfs the Cape. We hope you enjoy.
You got bars. If you can leave it to the back to me, you can't that's what they're with a golf jersey. I'm not thinking I got that. Look at where I look their ass. Hey, that's me. Oh! That guy's pointing at me. There's a lot of 5 minutes things up right pop out there. We just seen that shot. Hey!
That was a birdie. Oh, that was a fun trip, Mike.
No, Mikey, he took a video of him getting triple bogey and just pulling the ball out of the hole. Who dresses that?
Brad with his jeans, filter shorts.
Who the fuck dresses? Yeah.
Ooh, that guy knows how to putt.
That's not a Lombardi. I don't need a Lombardi.
Welcome back to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast. Oh, I'm just laughing because Roger just has an awesome imagination. And during that intro, he just was rapping. He had
bars, man.
He's got bars. He
I'm
really
back
does.
in studio, man. It feels good to be
I
back.
think the mic was hot, so
It was open. It was open. Listen, it was.
I think I said I was talking about Lombardi.
No, it's all good, Paulie. Paulie knows we bust balls. That's what we do. That's what we do. But welcome back to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast. I feel back at home, or I should say, this is more like it, Mikey. I got the whole crew right next to me. I mean, last week was a little weird. It was a little weird, I have to say.
Roger came bearing gifts after missing last week.
That's true. This is
That's
really
right.
nice.
Pitch, putt, and puff ball markers, baby. Told you guys I had a little something coming.
They're really nice.
Nice.
Those are going down to Hilton Head with us, brother, in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah,
I will be using that as a ball marker, my friend.
that's gonna be the lucky ball.
Now that
marker,
I'm an official member of the Pitch Putt and Puff, I just got
shout out.
So I just got initiated a couple days ago. The episode just dropped, right?
Yeah, that dropped. That was Monday's episode. You were on with the initiation, but Ant, I will say, you earned it, bro.
I
You
did.
rode with Fairway. You dealt with Fairway. You've dealt with Steve, which is one of the hardest people to ride in a cart with, especially if you don't really know.
Steve. Wow,
Love him.
I didn't know
One of
what
my
to
boys,
think.
man. But like when you didn't call me and be like, "Yo, Raj, what the fuck is going on here?" Like you were like, no complaints, no nothing. We're out there having a good time. And I looked at you guys like you're all laughing on the tee box at the one hole we seen you guys.
Yeah.
Christian hit his ball over there.
I did okay, right?
I'm like, yo, this seems like and Hank's always like a core piece of a group, and Scrounge obviously that can keep it all together.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately I always put Scrounge with Steve because Scrounge is my HR. So I know he's going to keep him under control, which is nice.
I'll tell you what, dude. It was actually a really fun round.
Scrounge does end up with all the head cases, huh?
So we get into the car. I drove with Mikey out there, and Mikey, the first question he asked, how was Steve? How was riding with Steve? I mean, listen, great guy. Means well. He just talked about his wee a lot. Which a small wee. He said he has a very small wee. Sorry.
Everybody knows.
I think
it.
everybody knows it. He's like, what? What is he, about 6?
Golf with him, you know it.
What is he, about 6? How big is he?
He's probably like 6'5", 6'6".
6'6". Okay, we shouldn't be talking about this much. We're gonna have our
No.
guest is gonna be a lady, so we really shouldn't go into this.
So I'm looking
very
down
much.
at the ground trying to get away from the
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. That
Not saying much.
that leads us into this. We have
Read
an
the room,
awesome.
Anthony.
We,
Read the room.
we really do have an awesome guest coming up. I've been following her for a while. She's a female golfer in the female
Golf space. The fashion world.
fashion world. Thank you, Roger. I was
Gotcha,
trying to
buddy.
get it out. Yes. She really pushes. She's with a lot of companies.
Fashion entrepreneur.
Yes, I will ask her tonight of the companies that she really is affiliates with. But
it's crazy. Like, just think about the fashion world and the guys golf on the side of things. Like how much it's changed since we started playing. So I mean, for the females, it's a totally different ball.
100%. Yeah.
Cool for someone to listen.
So her name's Rhonda Pollard. She's really big on Instagram right now. I think she's got like 300K plus followers.
Okay, girl.
So she's out there doing her thing. I watch her, and she is in like the tournament world. She's got a lot of people following her, and actually out on the golf course. So it's pretty cool. We'll have to pick her brain tonight and see what she's all about.
She's an amateur.
No. She literally just
what tournaments?
No, she literally just started like
LPGA?
4 or 5 years. No, the LPGA.
Is she
Here we
PGA?
go. No. Come on, guys. No, they're just dude. They're like beautiful courses. You kidding me? I'm talking about just like regular tournaments out there. And but
where is she from?
She's out in California now, I believe.
Okay, cool.
We'll actually find out more details now. I know.
She gets on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I did a little intro video for her. We'll do in a little bit, like I did for the long drive, Maddie.
That was a good episode you guys did last week. That was pretty cool.
I held it down without you, right?
Yeah, you did good.
I did good. I appreciate that.
A couple
I appreciate
that I would have
that.
recommended, but no, I'm just playing with you.
No doubt.
I made an appearance though from the Outback Steakhouse.
Tell me, give me like one good Raj, give me one good story from the weekend. I mean, I know we could probably do a whole podcast from the weekend, but give me one good story.
So shout out Mikey, your son Kirk. I was just telling these guys earlier, Bub couldn't make the trip last minute. Something came up. And I had an extra room key, and I knew the boys were going to go out and get banged up. So I gave the most responsible person there, the youngest person there, my room key to wake me up for golf. We went out, and it's a college town, dude, and we're like way too old to be going out down there, like way too fucking old. So it was really awkward, like going back and forth to the bar. So we tried to get a bottle at one place. It was live music. It was really like the vibe was dope. Like it was a really cool little place, like almost like a Saratoga type style, like bar,
Caroline Street
kind of thing. Yeah. So we're hanging out there. And the guy wouldn't sell us a bottle. So we're like, all right, fuck it. Let's go up the road and see what else is around here. Because there was like a street party with all these vendors and stuff. And then they're like, whole block was just bars and people and kids and everybody just partying. So we go into this one place, and Fairway Mike just drinks Budweiser. He just drinks his Bud Heavy. He doesn't change anything else. So go up to the bar, and Jay out of all people is like, yo, dude, we're not doing this all night. Let's just get a bottle. I'm like, all right, I don't give a shit. Let's get a bottle. So Jay's like, hands me his credit card. He goes, we'll figure it out. So I get a bottle of Grey Goose. We're sitting there. Now, this is like 12:30. Bar closes at 2. And we're already like golfed all day. Me and Scrounge were drinking from the tee time, 11:30. And I don't really drink when I play golf. So my score showed for it. So we had Fairway. We had Hank. We had Scrounge, Kev. Kev was rapping in the parking lot at the end of the night. Like, it was fun, though, man, because it was like something like where all of us, those guys, my favorite thing about it was we really only hang out on the golf course. So to get away somewhere away from the golf course and just be able to kick it and have the same vibe and have a good time, it was like what you guys do when you guys go away. Yeah. And dude, like it was supposed to rain all day Saturday, so we thought there was no chance of us golfing, right? We all wake up Saturday morning, shot like pictures. We're all sending pictures. Yep. Like, yo, what? And it didn't rain, so we made it to the course. As soon as we got there, it started basically pouring out. Your son Kirk and Jay finished the round. Me and Fairway played 4 holes. I look at him. I'm like, Mike, I'm miserable. I'm not having fun. I don't care. You can take my money at this point. I just want to go home, hungover, everything else.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, can we, Fairway, you having fun? He goes, nah, man. I'm like, can we go? He goes, let's go. I'm like,
let's go. After 4 holes, that was it.
It's like when you say to him that you're good from 30 feet, he thinks is like, when I tell him sometimes, yo, you're good to go. Hosts think I'm saying you're good and I'll go to pick up his ball. Like,
I know that story. I know that story.
But yeah, just having a crew together, staying out all night, hanging. We kicked it in the parking lot till like 4 a.m. It was crazy. We cleared out all our coolers, whatever was in there. We kicked the bottle. It was a night for 20-year-olds, not 40-year-olds, pretty much. But we had fun doing it.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Did Kirk have a good time? You talked to him about it?
I haven't talked to him.
He played good in the rain at Enjoy. He was hitting.
Did he?
He was hitting some bombs, huh?
Yeah, man, he was getting off the tee really good at Enjoy, especially in the rain. He had one ball he hit. it was a dog leg left, and he had a nice little turn around the corner. And we were playing a scramble at that point because it was raining, so we were just trying to move it along. We're like, "Yep." Everybody was like, "Yep, that's the one," and no one else had a tee shot. We all just went off.
Yeah,
So it was fun.
Let's talk about. We have to talk about this list you made. You we just made. I'm a little. All right, so I
haven't even heard nothing or seen nothing yet.
So I listened to the Pitch Putt and Puff on the way into work every morning when one is released. So I only like listen to usually half of it, and then when I leave work, I listen to the other half. So I got out of the car this morning a little disappointed because I didn't get to the second half when I was getting, Mr. Scrounge was giving me all these kind words, and because he knows.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was a good listen. It was a great episode. It was a fantastic episode.
When you were texting me, I knew what point of the episode you were in.
Oh, I was so mad. I haven't gotten to the end yet, and that's why I said to these guys, I said, you know what? I said I gotta wait for the end of the episode before I start bitching a little bit.
I think one of the first things I said in the text when you started this morning, I said consistency is king.
Oh, 100%. Well, I have a question. Is this list based on Freer Park?
Freer Park, Pitch Putt, Puff, yeah.
100%. So it's okay. That's all I'm saying. Because listen, if you and you'll kick my ass at Freer Park 9 out of 10 times, but you know damn well if we go on a neutral course, we'll go 50-50.
Especially like a place where, like that's what I was saying. I think I was telling Brad or maybe Bob. It doesn't affect, like when I go play a place like Conklin or like a Burden Lake or even like Eagle Crest kind of.
Yep.
If we play from the normal tees next time, where you can't really use the driver, that's a big advantage to a guy like Hank or Fairway, to where they're just boom,
100%, dude, 100%.
So like certain like depending on where we go, it does make a huge difference. Like if I can get out of the cart and grab a driver, I'm a lot more comfortable doing that opposed to grab my 7 or a 4 hybrid off the tee every day.
Because I literally talked. I was actually called Brad after, and he said, me and you are. Listen. Freer Park, Roger's better than us, and we all know that. He knows those greens. He said, but you and I are better than Roger on any other course.
I think
you and I are better, and it's kind of true. It is.
In a handicap, like I have my handicap at Freer. I don't obviously have it anywhere else. So I don't know. I always struggle the first time I play a new course.
Yep.
So
if you were in this tour, I think you would struggle playing a different course every week. Like kind of the way Mikey and I go into a blind course, right, Mikey? We'll go into a course sometimes, and
a blind course, yes.
And we see, we have no idea what these greens are gonna do.
Like the ranch was 2 different courses. The first time we played it, it was cold, and fucking early morning, bitter rain.
Sure.
And the second time, it was both gorgeous,
hot days. Yep.
So,
but the greens were a lot shittier.
Listen, I already know what happened, dude. We caught the groundskeeper on vacation. I'm telling you, we caught because that course is too nice. It's either that.
Do you think that's?
We were already talking
why
about
Mount Anthony was like that?
Something happened too with Mount Anthony. Well, no, Mount Anthony was weird because there was spots. I think they just got a lot of rain out there with the drainage. Mount Anthony has a hard time with drainage, maybe.
Place is falling apart.
All right, listen. Let's not bash one of our favorite places. I love them out there. It was a little shitty.
So back to the playing the tracks. I feel like if I know the course, like if I went to an Eagle Crest where I know it, or Fairways a Half Moon, or somewhere, a course I played before that I'm familiar with, I don't think I'd have a bigger issue opposed to going somewhere.
Right.
Like I might be going to play like Edison Club this week. I never played there. I don't know the layout. I don't know the greens. I don't know the rough. I don't know how to play. You know what I'm saying?
100%, dude. You know where to land every shot at Freer Park, bro.
Every shot. People,
you literally do.
And I love when people are like, yo, Raj, where would you go with this? Because I'm gonna tell you like what the ball is gonna do.
How many days a week for the listeners and for Ro and for her people that are just getting into this episode or getting into the Upstate Golf Guys? How many days a week do you play at Freer Park, this golf course?
Freer, I play minimum 4 days a week, probably.
Right.
4 to 5 days a week, 6 days sometimes.
Sometimes 6 days a week.
Yeah, like I'll be out there. I'm taking tomorrow.
Wife depending, or life depending.
Right. Well, it's nice because with the in-laws in for the summer, it opens up my flexibility a lot. So
yeah, absolutely, for sure, dude. So, all right, and now the kids are back to school as well. So now,
now I got the 3 o'clock takeoff.
Yeah,
that's cool though. I get mine 11, 12, 13 holes in, and off we go.
That's okay.
I got to actually, speaking of that, Fairway owes me some money from today.
Oh snap! Oh, so you better get it, especially a Fairway.
Fairway.
You don't let Fairway get away with it. Don't let Fairway get away with it. He would not let Fairway wouldn't let you get away with
absolutely
it.
not. He's
Never.
got a tab, dude. Hey, man, I
Tell
pulled
me.
up today.
Tell me.
He tried getting me for 2 greenies last week.
Yeah, he's the best. He goes to me today.
Gets my money, goes, turns around, goes and comes back. He goes, "You getting in greenies?"
Yep.
Yeah,
like, dude, I just did.
So he does these greenie fucking things, right? I have enough going on, and every single time he's like, "You're gonna do these greenies, right?" No, Mike, I gotta figure out the scores. I gotta figure out the skins. I gotta pull cards. I gotta do all this shit. And you want me to figure out your greenies? I go, when I'm done with everything, I'll sit there and I'll figure out your greenies. And most of the time, JR will jump in and grab the cards and boom, boom, boom. This is what it is. But I need the cards to do the scores and shit. So it's not like they can use them while I'm doing it. So sometimes Jay will just like peek over my shoulder and do it when it's just like the 2 groups. It's crazy.
Fairway's done that on a couple occasions where he's done the fun part and then needed us for the dirty work. Huh, Mike?
Yeah, always.
Well, let's tell the story. Let's tell the story right now.
Are you talking about when the one dude drove into
us? Yes, and you were with Bub. You were with Bub. Tell the story.
I don't know if I know this one.
Because I know Fairway listens. Come on.
Let me get this one.
Let's go.
See. I think it was on
9, right? The 9th hole? Or no. I'm sorry. 9 is a par 3.
That'd be 10.
No, it was 15, 14 and 15. The shared fairways.
Yep.
I think we were on one, the dude was on the other, and he drove in. We were sitting on the tee box, and the ball came up and landed probably about 10 feet from us.
Not too close, not overly close.
It wasn't nothing that made me jump up or not.
You heard it.
Right. It's kind of like, good shot, whatever.
Right. Did you hear a 4 or anything?
No,
okay.
That's the worst thing. That's what gets him, sets him off.
That's what Fairway was tweaking about. He was like, what? You guys just hit into us. You didn't know 4? You didn't say nothing. What's up? And he's looking at us.
So he's yelling this, right?
Yeah,
he's yelling, correct?
Yelling it to this dude. Fucking Bub's looking at him. It's starting to die down a little bit, and Bub starts to go to pull away, and Fairway goes, no, don't go nowheres. I need you guys. I'm waiting for him to come up to the tee box. I'm going to say something to him.
He does the fun part.
Yeah, don't let the bulldog loose, man. The bulldog get ready to bite.
I'm like, nah, dude, we don't need to confront nobody, bro. That wasn't no big deal.
He would just do his typical, hey, man.
He was ready to fight with
he wanted to go at it.
I didn't know this one. This is
he needed the young guys. He needed the young guys' fists, right? But we don't fight on the golf course. Me and Mikey talked about this all the time. We talk about this all the time.
There was one up there a few weeks ago. Someone on the 10 tee box
hitting India.
No, fighting.
Oh God,
guys!
It's always about somebody. This is the thing. It's always start
being a league too.
Well, it was a league. It probably had to be money.
Well, if that was the case, but what I'm getting at is usually confrontations start with getting hit into without yelling 4 on a golf course.
Yeah.
And Mikey and I always say, like, it fucking happens, dude. It happens, bro.
Dude,
like, get over it. I'm sorry, Fairway Mike. I love you.
I
love you, Fairway, but it happens.
Let me tell you guys a quick story about getting hit into. We're on 12.
Go ahead.
We're on 12 one time, and we had our league. We were playing the front, and for whatever reason, we started on the back. And there was 5 guys in our group, but we got the okay from everybody, the Rangers, starters, like everybody at the course, go ahead, because we were way ahead. There was no one out there. And all of a sudden, two people come through. And this guy, we're on the green, 5 people standing on the green. He hits his tee shot, and he's probably 120 yards up, straight up the hill over the bunker. And all of a sudden, we all look at him like, what the fuck? Where the fuck this guy come from, right? And we look up, and he waves to us, and we're like, what are you doing? All of a sudden, he squares up, hits his ball to all of us on the green. Like, it almost hit us. It was me, Big Steve, a few guys from the loop, and like it literally almost hit us. And he goes, "Thanks, guys." We're like, "Thanks." And what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what made you think it was okay to hit the ball? And then he started getting a little snarky with us. So then I got a little fired up, and we went back and forth. And it was funny because a lot of the guys from the league never seen like that side of me. I was like, I'm good until someone starts to like act like they didn't do something wrong.
Right. No, I get it. A lot of times people will drive off and be like, "Oh shit, dude, it actually just happened to us the other day."
Aimed at us. You couldn't.
That's terrible.
See 5 people on the green from 100.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, no, that's a different story. But Mikey and I are what we're speaking of.
When you're on the fairways and you get hit into whatever, when you're on the
On
green,
the green.
and somebody hits into you onto the green, that better have been a fucking good
Bomb.
shot,
Like
dude.
on the gully. If you're on the gully, par 4. If you make it up on the green you make it over the gully,
Right.
you're yelling for
Good shot.
cool. It's
Good
most
shot,
likely it's gonna
dude.
bounce and run up to us.
Right.
Sure.
Yes.
On 18, I've seen JR overdrive that green a few times. My buddy Neil's driven that green a bunch of times. Like you drive that, it's probably gonna roll up anyway.
Just give the heads up.
Cool. That's cool. Like unless
Yeah.
you get someone like your homeboy you had on the long drive guy who's going to put it over 787. He's going to put it halfway down Hoosick Street.
Legitimate.
450, kid.
That's sick.
Mikey and I were figuring out what was it, the 7th hole. He'd be putting it over the green.
There was 3 of them.
He'd
There
be-
was one
he'd be
that he
putting it
would have
over
put
the green.
put over because it was
That's crazy.
427.
He'd be like,
from the
yo,
ways.
he'd be playing with us, and he'd be like, yo, I'm gonna cut this corner, go over the trees, uphill a little bit, and with a fucking 3-wood
I know, I was
probably.
going to say with a 7-iron.
Yeah, no, with a
Like,
3-wood.
there's a couple shots that it's just like Bryson. You look at the way he's lining up, and it's like, nah, dude, he's going for that.
That is
That's craziness.
just crazy.
It's amazing.
Absolutely, man. Well, we got a lot of things planned, Mikey, in the next couple of weeks, don't we?
Yeah.
We're getting ready, buddy. We're getting ready.
Yo, I'm ready
Roger.
for this tournament.
I know Roger's a little jealous. I know Roger's
I
a little
am.
jealous.
I would obviously love to go away to Hill.
And I know
That'd be
Brad.
sick.
I know Brad is a little jealous now that we're getting down to it. I know he is. Scrounge. Sorry, buddy.
That's
Sorry,
a nice
man.
little.
We're
That's
going.
a nice little trip, man. For sure, you
Yes.
guys are gonna have a blast.
Fucking-
down
Check
there.
that off the bucket list.
I'm happy, like
Yes.
you said though. I'm happy for this guy, bro.
Yeah, he needs it.
He like there's people like that need to like Jay needed to get away for a night.
Well, Mikey's never literally
Mikey
taken
needs
a
to get away.
vacation. We always talk about it when we go to
Yeah.
Cape Cod. And I take him. I love treating him to Cape Cod because I know Mikey works very hard. And when he gets, listen, by the time Mikey unpacks, we're leaving after, right, Mike?
Well, a lot of times it's tough for me to justify doing a vacation during work
right.
because I have the whole winter off. But it's hard for me to do a vacation during the winter because I'm not working.
Right.
So it's
Make
a
it make sense.
catch-22.
Right. Dude,
So
I know. I listen. I
This-
understand
this'll
how it
be the
goes.
We're gonna
bucket
make that
list.
change this year, I think, buddy.
absolutely.
We'll
Listen,
be going away in January after doing what we were talking about before.
100%,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah.
100%. What are you thinking about? Maybe a Cali thing?
Ooh, you want to go to Cali and play some golf? You
What are
guys
you
want to
thinking?
go
What are
out
you
there and
thinking?
meet the
January? What's
leg-
going on in January?
I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm saying if because after he comes down with me, does the Christmas tree shit. he gets
Oh,
some
he's
extra
not
money,
a
he can go take a
cash.
fucking
Gotcha.
vacation.
I lost it. That's right. That's right. Thinking about it. Why didn't you say what you're thinking about doing, man? Right on there.
Get
Possibly.
enough money, I'll do the same
Yeah, do
thing
the
he
Christmas
does,
tree shit
man.
with me, man. Go
Yeah.
down there. I'm actually doing it really. So when I go down to pay for my league pass for the year and then whatever.
For the
extra-
listeners, what exactly do you do, Roger?
So my buddy Harold, New York, NYC Trees, go
Yep.
check him out for Christmas time. You get a delivery service.
New York
in
City, right?
New York
Yeah.
718, whatever the other 914,
Yes, sir.
whatever it is. Yeah, we go down there. We set them up. We do a bunch of businesses too. Like I met some celebrities down there. Like I met Brian Callen down there, setting up a Christmas tree. I met Stabler from Law and Order SVU.
No shit.
Yep.
Bro, I'm
Yep.
literally sitting there cutting a tree on the street, and homeboy walks by, and I'm like, I know his name's Christopher Maloney or whatever the hell. it
Yeah,
is.
so you're like, what up, Chris?
So I'm like thinking in my head, yo, what's up, Stabler? What's up? What do I say? You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey man, how's it going? He goes, what's up, buddy? I go, and then I just kind of
You lost it. You want a Christmas tree, dude?
I didn't know
got a
what to
Christmas
say.
tree for you, bro.
So the dope one though for me was Callen because I actually follow his Fighter and the Kid podcast. He was on a podcast with Sam Tripley for a little bit, and we literally were listening to the podcast while we were like cutting the tree, and like
No shit.
the
That's
dude's
dope.
this guy's walking across the street with a bagel and a coffee, like a bag, like a whatever, brown bag and a coffee, and I'm like, yo, that's Brian Callen. I'm like, yo, I just out loud, I don't give a shit. Yo, Callen. And he turns, he's like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, he was in California 2 days before doing the podcast. I didn't think it would chance it was him. And he just starts walking over to us in like 10, 15 minutes, shooting the shit with us. Me and Christian were hanging out. It was like a real cool experience because like us up here, we don't see celebrities. Maybe if
Yeah.
you see him at the track or
Right.
something, or someone you follow, especially. Who else did I see down there? Little Uzi Vert, I delivered a Christmas tree to his house. That was the rapper there. He's all of 4'7".
So you just, but what exactly do you do? You deliver, you make the
and you set
deliveries,
them up, you put them in the stand,
bring in.
carry 'em
You
up.
were literally just telling me sometimes you have to go up like 10
Ah,
flights
bro,
there, but
some of them suck.
tell me a story of going up into a penthouse in New York City. Give me one good story
Alright,
of the New York City
so-
business for Mikey. Mikey might be
Picture
doing this.
getting tree from point A to point B, and
In the
there's a
sky
lot
rise.
of obstacles in between.
Yeah,
Yo, 'cause
no, I get it,
I
man.
got one for you.
Well, from what I hear, Mikey is gonna make some nice
I've done
cheddar, but
I've
it's
done some hot tubs,
but it's a pain in the
I
ass.
kind of have that.
It's
up those
easier
buildings.
than hot tubs because the trees are a little bit more narrow. And shit, so
Right.
you got some. It's once you get
Hot tubs, you got to disassemble houses.
once
Give
you
me a-
figure out how to get around the stairs and the corners and shit. It's really is.
Yeah, what is Mikey? Give me a day that. What's Mikey gonna have
you're
on a
probably,
day?
like,
Give me what does he expect?
I'm
or
gonna
expect?
like I'm one of the guys that you're probably gonna get we're gonna get a decent amount of trees.
Yep.
So we're looking at probably 20, 25 deliveries today. So we'll start at like 6 a.m. Sometimes, yeah, this is the worst part. I love my man Harold, but he's a wild card. So he'll have a delivery for trees coming. Like he'll say, "Oh, I got 100 6-footers coming." 100 6-footers when there's like 15 people at the tree stand in the morning, drivers and helpers and shit. It's not bad, right? Well, you'll get to the tree stand, and that won't be 100. That'll be like 400 or 500.
Oh no,
six,
sounds
seven,
terrible.
8, 9, and then it'll be like, oh, I just got a light load coming. It's a light load of like 150, 200, 12, and 10-foot trees.
It
And these
just
bitches-
means he's got 1,200 coming on the next load,
Yeah,
which is
so
a heavy one.
I know, like now I know the move. When he tells me he's got a delivery coming, I'm going. I don't even fucking stick around no more.
I don't
So we
blame
really
you.
have to worry about that, man. I try my best to get out, but like if we do get stuck with it, he takes care of you, like to where it was worth your time to like you're taken care of well.
Mikey
Right.
knows how that goes.
Yeah, so it's all good. And then like it's the best part is too, it's like for me anyway, personally, is like going to actually like hang out with him because he's a teacher. He's got all these businesses he's doing. So like it's the one time like of the year that I actually get to go and we get to chill, go out to a dinner, grab some drinks, like have a good time. But like the work side of it, dude, it's nonstop
Sucks.
from the time you get there till you not. But like it goes by so fast, and like you're seeing new things. Like especially if you haven't like going to different parts of the city. Say you go down there, you're going to Times Square, you're going to Shea
Right.
Stadium back in
Yup.
the day or whatever.
City.
You're going to that kind of thing, but like now you're going into the inner guts of the city.
Shout out the Mets, by the way. They just
Yeah.
Brandon Neal
So
just hit a
like
bomb.
there's some cool ass shit you see like just in the like I'll never forget the first year I went down. There was this one penthouse. We were up on like I don't even know, bro, 60th floor or whatever it was.
Yep.
And this homegirl had a lookout of on the Hudson River. You could see the Statue of Liberty, and then right out the other corner of her window, you had like World Trade Center, and then you could see like you could see Times Square. You could see everything. I'm like, yo, this shit is like thinking in my head, like, how much does this cost to live here?
Yes,
Like,
sir.
This is like I know the one chick was paying like an influencer was paying like $25,000 a
Yeah.
month.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Month.
'Cause,
I
listen,
was gonna say,
goals, right?
Goals.
Goals.
Some of them penthouses are like
Goals.
40,000.
That
It's
is
insane,
goals.
dude.
Let me be a golf influencer and have the income to be able to pay $25,000
No,
a
who
month,
makes
right?
bank down in the city too?
Get a
Who's that?
900 square foot apartment,
Especially
in the
around
city.
Oh Jesus.
Especially around the holidays, is those doormen.
Oh God, I'm
Those
sure
New
they do.
York
They get
City
taken care of.
doormen make
Well,
bank.
you just literally hit the nail on the head, and I didn't even think about that. It's Christmas time, dude, and you guys are hustling up fucking 20 flights of stairs with a Christmas tree to a penthouse, and it's a lawyer. What's he gonna do Christmas time?
You're getting taken care of, man.
I mean,
You do. The people see
lawyer,
what you're going
doctors,
for, like,
movie stars, whatever they
like we
are.
come in, there's no needles on their like they think the hassle-less situation for these people. Like down in the city, you can't go to a farm and cut down your tree, throw it on your roof. Half these people don't have cars.
So I have a question.
Right.
They're
Are
not
we
kidding
saying
in a subway?
Are we saying Mikey's gonna afford nationals in Hilton Head next year as well? Maybe, possibly.
I think he'll be all right, man.
If you can put
It honestly depends.
I'm just
on,
saying.
like
That shit's gonna be free next year.
if
Yeah,
that, if,
let's get there. Let's go, baby. Let's
It
go.
depends-
I love that attitude. Let's
it
go.
depends on the stretch, like how long we want to go for. Because like I usually go down for 3 weekends, sometimes 4 if it's like I went down 2 years ago. I went down for the 4 weekends, but it was like all commercial. Like we were going into hotels,
Yep.
Right.
and I would go with him. And like some of these things, bro, like I don't want to go back for the 4th weekend because those 15, 20-foot trees, they're not fun. Like go outside.
It sounds
and look at 20
miserable, and
go
I hate
outside
Christmas trees.
And it's just like 2 people usually. Maybe
No, it
3,
sounds miserable.
like
They
4.
better take
Like
care
a
of you.
20
That's
footer,
all
it's
I'm
like
saying.
4 people.
Right.
All I'm picturing right now is me and Roger with the fucking TV show Friends. Pivot, 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 pivot.
Another episode.
Let's go.
It's gonna be dope.
You guys are gonna have to go live streaming with some of these. And
Yo, and that-
I gotta see some
So
videos.
now here's the cool
I gotta
part
see
too.
this shit.
is through the podcast shit with Pitch Putt and Puff. There's another cannabis golf club down there.
Yep.
Rolling Green Golf Club, and then the Five Borough Farms where I got that fake.
Yeah. I saw you shouting them out back in the day, right?
They're down there, so now I can
Nice.
go link up with them,
Let's
out,
go.
have drinks, go to their spot, see what's up, hit the
Yeah.
simulator up.
Hell yeah, dude.
We could throw the clubs in the car. The Christmas trees go in the car. We throw the clubs.
Nice.
You know what? Honestly, we have played Christmas time around here when there's not a lot of snow. Courses are open all year long.
Mohawk, dog.
I know they are. I
That's
know
fair
they're
way
open all
close
year-
it.
We
Let's
played
go play
February.
Hudson River. Yeah, we played this year in January and February.
All right.
February 26th.
Oh, geez. Let's get this guy.
So listen, honestly, well, that's what I was gonna get to. Why didn't you see this? She loved the video I made for her. I already
Let's
sent
see.
it to her, and I got her attention, or I got her
Well, let's
permission
see.
for the video.
Let's
see
So
who
you guys
she
want to
is.
see who she is? All right,
This
let's
is my
go.
favorite part of the show.
Rhonda Pollard, guys. She
Does-
looks awesome. She's
That's an awesome video. The only thing she's missing is
Lombardi.
Lombardi.
Actually, I think she said I
that
asked
head cover
Paulie.
off. Look what I got gifted.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, I
you
passed it down.
did.
I passed it down. I passed it down.
Oh, that's fresh.
You like that?
I love this thing. I gotta get one with the logo.
Yeah, man. So I am not letting go of that diamond putter now that I'm draining putts with it. So I said, you know what? Let me put this thing to good use. Let me pass
Yeah,
it along to
I'm
my
really
because we
good
do
with-
have to. I did have to pay for that. Listen, anything that Lee does, we're
yeah.
paying for.
Lee's no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything that Lee does, we're paying for.
So if I got a feeling if I had a putter like this one here, I wouldn't miss a putt. This thing's sweet, dude.
It's not.
Which one's this? What's
It's
the
the
model?
custom.
on this?
It's the, no, it's the
It's
custom.
custom.
It's
So
the,
it's just
it's
the whole thing's custom.
It's the Lombardi custom. It says at the
It's not
bottom
like
Lombardi
a-
custom. I put
Amigo
that.
or
It's
Umbria?
similar to the Nassau.
Yeah, I put that
Okay.
thing together. I wanted a mallet. I told Paulie. I said
Oh,
I
so
wanted
you
a little.
gave him the ideas of what you
Yeah,
wanted.
I said I wanted a little heavier, so he gave me the 100
like
gram.
that.
Look at the shaft. What does the shaft say?
100 gram.
100 gram shaft.
See, that's what I want. I
Matt
just need
Shaft.
this longer. I want. That's exactly what I want. But with
You
the
know what I'm
blade.
gonna do, Raj? I'm gonna link you up with Lee, and
Yeah,
because
I've been
I feel
trying.
like no, listen, I feel like he's the guy that you got to talk to.
I know. I
say
have
exactly
my putter
what-
in the car in the box though. I haven't
Yeah,
sent it back.
yeah. So listen, I'm gonna link you up with Lee. You say exactly what you want. We'll fix up your putter. We really will. We'll make it dope. We'll make it dope. But
Make
yeah,
pu-
let's
make
get
putters great again.
absolutely. Let's get Roe. We're gonna run that commercial later, brother. We're gonna run the Lombardi commercial later. I got one for you with Lombardi,
All right,
but
man.
let's get Roe on here
You
shortly.
get around right
and
now. I
I'm-
got to use the restroom. Is that all right?
Yes,
Do I need
absolutely.
a hall pass?
You get a hall pass, bro. We'll be
Okay.
back after this short intermission with Roe.
I don't think the head stuff started yet. I think we're all right.
All right, we are back after that short intermission with Ro Pollard. What's going on, Ro?
Hey, how are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on and taking the time tonight. We really appreciate you. Well, first things first, I like to ask every golf content creator and anybody that comes on, what got you into golf in the first place?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Actually,
Absolutely.
fun story about that, and I'll try to keep it really brief. I
Yeah.
went through like an awful breakup, and two of my girlfriends and I decided that we were going to go out to the Olympic Peninsula here, which is like really beautiful, like mountain, and we were going to mountain range and water and all the things like to kind of reconnect with nature, to grieve and kind of like process. And we decided to take like all the memorabilia from those relationships. One of my other friends was going through a divorce too at the same time. And I wasn't going through a divorce, but it was practically like one. And so we take like all the greeting cards and stuffed animals and all the stuff that you collect throughout like a relationship. And we build like a Viking funeral raft and we catch it on fire and like send it out in the lake. And we're trying to like do what women do when you get together and you're trying to be like, screw those guys. And we all are big sustainability nuts, and we started to see like sequins and ribbons and things like polluting the lake. So we panicked and like fished this like pile of stuff out and then took it back to our cabin, dried it out and burned it in the wood burning stove while we were drinking whiskey. And I was like, at the end of it, felt like the same. And it sucked because we went through like a lot of trouble to do that. And
Right.
so we're at this cabin that happened to be like on this little bitty community golf course with a driving range, like right down the street. And my friend Melissa we're all in commercial real estate. So we all work in commercial architecture, engineering, or construction, building like skyscrapers and things like that. And golf is like a huge part of like business networking. And I'd been in the industry for 22 years at the time. This was July of 2021, to put it in perspective. And I just like would say no to playing golf. They would get asked all the time, and I would just go and stand at like the hole and be the whole sponsor person representing the company. And you'd see a ton of people and you make like zero connections. Like you would just collect business cards that you never would hear back from somebody on. And I would watch like our male colleagues. There'd be like 144 people in the field. And out of that, like maybe four women and 140 dudes. And, we're watching these guys like get promoted faster than us, make deeper connections, get to go. Our industry is so cool because boondoggling is like a big part of it, where you go to like the Waste Management Tour, or you go to the Super Bowl, or you go like on these crazy fishing trips. And I'm not your typical, as you say, girly girl, like I like a lot of things that are very feminine, and I'm really into fashion and things like that. But deep down, I like to go to sporting events, play sports, drink whiskey. I'm cut from a different cloth. And a lot of the females that I hang out with have, similar attributes about their personality. So anyway, back to we're near this driving range. And I look at my friend Melissa and I'm like, hey, do you have your golf clubs in the car? And she's like, yeah. And I said, can we go down to the driving range and try to hit those things? I need to hit something. Like,
Right.
I think that's what I need to do. And so she was like, absolutely. So we go down there, and you know how it is I've never, ever touched a golf club in my life. Like a putt course, like putter, maybe like twice, but never touched a driver or anything like that. And so she had been playing for probably about a year at the time. And, so she's just trying to give us instruction, but I make good contact with one of the balls, and like the sound and the feeling of that did something to me. It was like being struck by lightning, I guess is the best way to describe it. And from that second, literally on, I couldn't stop thinking about that feeling and how it made me feel. And on the way back home, she said, hey, there's an industry tournament like on Saturday, and I want to have an all-female team. It's a best ball scramble. You should come play. And I'm like, I literally just touched a golf club for the first time. And she's like, this is the perfect time to go do that. So I ended up playing in that tournament. But like, even like, a couple days before that tournament, I get a call from a client who said, I heard you play golf now. a big hospital organization. I was like, well, not yet. I'm going to do it on Saturday. And she said, I'm 8 months pregnant and I can't play in a tournament that we are doing on Friday. I really need you to step in and play for me. Can you play? It's with all of these executives too, from this big client that I was trying to get into. So before I even like actually played, I got another invite by a client actually. And then I realized like the power of being able to play golf and how important it was going to be. So I played those 2 back-to-back scrambles and then I caught the bug really badly. And next thing you know, I'm like head first into golf.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Did
Happens.
you know what a scramble was even when you first started?
No, and you should have, if you had a camera and you were following me around, like I hit the ball and it's like not even leaving the tee box and it'll roll down a hill onto the other fairway. And I'm just running, like not thinking, because I don't know, you're not supposed to like run into the other fairway while people are trying to hit. And I don't know that you're not supposed to, like, I know nothing, so I'm just doing all the things you could think of that were making people cringe on the golf course. But
Right.
it was fine.
Oh,
no
good.
one got mad. They were
It's
all
funny
laughing.
because I literally just witnessed this the other day, Roger, on Wednesday. We just go out and we like to have fun when we go out. We're goofy. We're literally, if you followed, we don't have a videographer or anything, but I wish we did because we could make a movie with us, with our groups, because we it's nothing really corporate or anything. But Wednesday, I got invited to a tournament. And when I saw the prices of these tournaments, guys, like what the tournament we're putting on, Ro, and next month is 100 a man, beautiful golf course, but it's 100 a person. I'm just trying to get people there because we make all our money with all the fun stuff, all the raffles, all the 50-50 and everything. But when I saw the prices for this tournament, that I'm telling you, the base, there's a whole bunch of like levels to be car sponsored. And the money that people have out there compared to what we make is disgusting, because the bottom tier was 400 a man for this tournament I went to. Bottom tier, right? So 4, 8, 12, and it was the realtor. So I own a 50 years in business. We have a little convenience store in a state office building. My grandfather started. My dad took over. I mean, it really took good care of us for many years. Not many businesses last this long, but we're in a big state office building. COVID killed us, but the realtor in the building, shout out Carroll Realty, really awesome guy, Charlie Carroll. He came down. He said, he goes, one of the guys canceled in this tournament that he doesn't even play these things. He just writes the checks out. And he said, yeah, he goes, he's like, one of the guys dropped out. He knows how much I'm into golf. He said, you want to go play? He goes, everything's on me. You're going to love it. I mean, I went there and it's not one giveaway, it's 2 giveaways. They're literally Puma shirts, hoodies with the logo of the tournament on them. I mean, the dinner layout was absolutely unbelievable. Lunch, sausage, first, it was sausage and peppers. It was, burgers for lunch. It was awesome before we went out. Makes our tournament look, I see why the money, it was, if you're going to spend that kind of money, you better put on a show. Yeah. But anyways, it was actually an attorney's office in our state office. I've got to get to the point. It was a big attorney's office that put on the tournament, and the whole tournament was all big attorneys. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm seeing all these attorneys talking business, and I was a little out of place. Me and the real estate guys. It was just funny. It was like we're sitting there eating our dinner, and it was all, it was great because we're all, listen, it's golf, and we all love the same sport at the end of the day. And whether you're a millionaire or you're just, paycheck to paycheck like we are, and the grind, we all love that game of golf, and it's awesome because it really brought us all together. And I was chatting with all these lawyers on Wednesday. You should have heard me out there. I mean, they loved me. The fact that I had a podcast, I was handing cards out to these guys. I said, I gave them the spiel. I said, I curse a little bit. Don't get offended. I said
about 90% of people catch the bug for golf the same way you did.
100%, 110%.
You flushed that good shot, and then that's it.
Yeah, you were telling me about that corporate stuff, though, and I was like, I saw it all on Wednesday. It was really funny.
That's like 99.99% of the golf I'm exposed to too. And I'll tell you a quick
100%.
story. I'm from Kentucky originally, and I am from a very, very, very poor family. Golf was, my parents didn't even know. I don't even think my mom knew what golf was. Like if you ask her, she couldn't describe it to you, guaranteed, until recently. And, you know, as a child, I definitely did not grow up like in the country club scene. I did not grow up, you know, with access to things like that. And I have worked really, 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 really hard for, you know, my entire time that I've been doing what I do to get to where I'm at. And what I love about golf is just exactly the point that you said. It's like a universal language that it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. If you're in a corporate setting, you can almost always strike up a business conversation with somebody by talking golf with them and gain their trust and respect. And they then see past like things that maybe they judge you for on the, you know, on the surface in the beginning.
100%. You just hit it nail on the head. So now that you have a big following, I mean, you're up to over 300, or what's your exact number now on Instagram? Go ahead, give it, girl.
It's not 300 right now. I've lost some people. I've been working on changing my demographic a little bit because the content that I was creating was drawing the wrong crowd. Not that there's a wrong crowd. I want anyone and everyone that wants to, you
100%.
know, to enjoy my content. But I was trying to create a page that was really a resource that helped women getting into the game and also helped BIPOC and women-owned golf brands that were smaller, small businesses, like have a platform to be discovered. And I ended up with a little bit different demographic, but my number right now is about 275,000, but it fluctuates between that, and it's been over 300 at a point. But
now you're looking at a guy that's struggling for my number to get to 2,000.
You're almost there, bro.
Listen, we're doing giveaways with Lombardi. We're doing every little thing. I just got linked up with, actually, shout out, awesome. They really are, and I don't know if it's the Italian thing with me. I have no idea what it is, but I'm just a little guy, and I follow their podcast, the Skinny with Joey Merlino. I don't know if you've heard of Joey Merlino. He literally ran Philly mob, like big, like, but he's just so funny compared to all the other mob podcast guys. Like the New York mob podcast will talk about it and we'll talk about their business, but Joey is like what mob? Like there was no mob. They're just my friends.
Yeah.
So anyways, I literally like talk to these guys now, and like they're my friends. They got into golf a little bit. I saw that they did a golf photo or golf tournament or whatever, and I kind of nudge my way in there, and it's just awesome, man. Like the getting into, I don't know where I was going with these guys, but no, I get rambling, but
let me ask you, bro.
It was awesome, man.
Let me ask
100,000 followers on those guys.
Let me ask you a little bit about your fashion background.
Go ahead.
When did that, like, did you have a fashion background prior to starting the page and getting off like the Instagram social media side of things, or was it something you just started off rip when you started golfing?
Yeah, so I've always been a fashion, I would say, fan. You know, I went technically, I'll make this short too, but I graduated high school at 16 years old, part of a Running Start program, and I went to college very young, graduated with my associate's degree from IU in communications and journalism at the age of 19. And I came home, I was woefully ill prepared for how much money it takes to like go to college outside of your scholarship that was given to me for the basics. And so I was working full-time, 2 jobs while trying to do all of that, and very unconventionally as well. We don't probably have time to dig into all of that, but
Sure we do. That's what it's all about, a podcast. That's why I talk a lot. That's why I got into this business.
So let's just say my mom was a singer in a band, and she was, she was not, let's say I didn't have a traditional childhood where you go to bed at like, you're in bed by 8 o'clock and she makes sure you brush your teeth and like, that kind of stuff. My mom, again, was 26 years old with 3 kids. But I think I was 8 years old, or I would have been 6 years old at that time. And she had 3, and my dad was in prison. And so she was single mom trying to raise 3 kids, worked herself to death, doing anything and everything that you can possibly think of, because she didn't have she got married at 15. That was very common, where I was from. And like literally no way to make a living without my dad. And so he's in prison and she has 3 young kids under the age of 6, and she's trying to do what she can do. And she has God-given talent as a singer. And so she was able to do that, but not make a good living doing that. And so we grew up, you know, in a pretty like interesting area. We grew up in you know, kind of government subsidized housing and kind of that whole scene. And so when I graduated early, and that's why I was chosen for this Running Start program, is they chose 10 children that tested really high. Like I was given the SAT when I was in 5th grade and scored higher than 90% of the seniors that year. And I don't know how any of that's possible. I have a photographic memory and I test well. That can be the only explanation for that. But,
That's awesome.
I ended up getting a job at the movie theater, and because I graduate high school, and then there was a big gap. There was like almost a year gap before I could go to college, where my housing and all of that stuff was going to be paid for, and I needed to work to help support our family and to save some money for college because they didn't cover everything. And so I was working in a movie theater, and my neighbor kid, who was probably 5 or 6 years old, or maybe 21 years old, was the manager, and he just wanted to party with his friends and not really like work. So he would pay me under the table to do his manager stuff because I was really responsible, and I would like stay late and close down the movie theater. And then I would walk across the street to a pool hall where this guy called Cowboy, who used to ride a horse into work in Nashville, had to start driving a car, and he had so many DUIs, you had to blow into a breathalyzer in order for his car. And like the bartenders and servers were robbing him blind at night when they would go to cash out because he was so wasted he couldn't count any of the money. And he heard that I was doing this for the movie theater, and he's like, "Hey, could you come close down the bar like at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're done with like the late shift at the movie theater, and then I'll let you drive my car because you can blow in the breathalyzer for me and drive me home, and like it'll be like a win-win situation," because I was walking, I didn't have a car. So I did a lot of like random jobs like that.
Shout
And
out
then I ended
Cowboy.
up going away to college, getting my communications degree, thinking that I was going to be a journalist and a news anchor, not realizing you got to have a huge, huge nest egg and do a lot of volunteer work, you know, to get into that and move all over the place and have the resources to do that, which I did not have. And so I went back to school and got a technical degree in interior design. And when you do that, you run a parallel path with fashion merchandising.
Right.
I really preferred fashion, but after being burned from picking a dream that just wasn't going to become a reality, I saw how cutthroat the fashion industry was, and I did not believe in myself. And so I went the safe route, and I went through interior design and got my job working in the commercial interiors business in 1999, and landed a really good gig with a woman where I became the successor to her business and worked in that for 15 years. And just thought, well, you know what? I can dress up really nice for work because you've got to look good to show people that you can trust us with, you know, how we're going to be able to design your commercial space. And so I kind of like let the fashion thing go by the wayside, but always went to like runway shows. One of my biggest mentors here in Seattle is a woman by the name of Luli Yang. She has the wedding boutique in the Fairmont downtown Seattle. She was a graphic designer in my industry, and at 37 years old, entered a contest for a dress making and won. And now she's she's a world renowned fashion designer.
Wow.
And so, you know, I met her probably about 8 years ago at a show here, and I kept telling her, I'm like, I'm super nervous. I don't really think I could do this. And she's like, you can absolutely do it. You need to go into it. And where she and I have had a couple of conversations, she's actually contemplating coming out with like a golf clothing line, which would be really cool to collaborate with her on. But so I'll fast forward here, talk about getting to the point. About 3 years ago, when I started playing golf, I started playing with a bunch of women in my industry, and I really got into the clothing. And I would show up at a tournament, and everybody would be like, "Oh, where did you get your outfit? I look so different than everybody else," because I sought out like all of these unique brands. Nike stuff, I tried wearing that in the beginning. I tried wearing Puma, and they're come a long way in the last like 12 months. But back then, it was really just like stuff that didn't really fit well. I'm a tiny woman. I'm like 5'3" and weigh about 100 pounds. And so when you're trying to put like golf clothes on that just are off the rack, 9 out of 10 times you're like swimming in them and you look like your grandma coming out of Miami, Florida with like neon colors and flamingos. And that wasn't my vibe. And, or you could find like, stuff that you catch the beverage cart professionals in Vegas wearing, you know, which wouldn't
Right.
fine. I like stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. And depending on the crowd and the tournament and who I'm with and what I'm doing, I fluctuate my style quite, you know, drastically. But if I'm in a corporate golf tournament setting where you were at, yeah, you can't do that. So
we follow the ones that like to show themselves, and then the ones that, you know, who's the one there that said she would never be able to make it in the corporate world? Who's the one? She's a great golfer.
Paige?
No, not Paige Sporanic. I'm even going deeper. What's her name? God. She's great at the flop shots. Grace.
I had a feeling you were gonna say Grace. I was like,
Grace. Oh. Yeah, she's a really good golfer, right? Yes. I mean, have you ever seen her in person?
So,
I haven't met her in person, but I would love to.
I got a fashion thing here for you real quick.
Go ahead.
With Grace. So I'm a big sneaker guy. I grew up I'm Jordans, play basketball, everything, right? She's beautiful. Her golf game is great, but her sneaker game makes her so unattractive to me. She's got to step it up.
She does.
Go ahead, talk. What do you think?
Have you noticed that though? Does that stand out to you? Or is it
oh my God, yeah. Like, and so like I like Grace. I think Grace is cool, but I was also like, okay, Lululemon and you do not have a deal. Stop wearing their shirts. Like, get somebody to make your own shirt for you, because she wears the same shirt, but she hasn't like every single color. And I get why, because she's a tiny woman too. And she's like, you know, a little bit on the bustier side. I am as well. And like when you find something like that looks good on you, you buy it in every color because you don't have a lot of options. But I think she's got such a following and she does have kind of her thing. It's like, don't wear a big brand like that. Get your own.
I got you. No, I feel you. Listen, this is a podcast where you could spit it and tell how you feel.
I want to send her a pair of Nikes though. I can't.
Yeah, that's socks and shoes, you know, like both. I mean, I think like anything from the waist down, she could do.
Yeah, she always wears the fluffy socks.
Is she like I think she kind of likes that dirty, like that grungy look, right?
Rolling around in the sandbox, like, you know.
Yeah. and again, people dig it. I mean, I follow her. I'm a dude. Listen, I don't mind watching her swing the golf club.
I follow her.
Yeah,
she's got a phenomenal flop shot.
That flop shot, dude.
She's unbelievable.
She swings that club with confidence. I'll tell you what.
I can promise you guys ain't watching where that ball goes.
No, you know.
I would say this though, like I follow Paige. I'm friends with a lot of the influencers that are out there. Not Grace, and Paige and I have interacted very, very little, but she has been on a tour with some of my friends, and like. They're both, I'm sure Grace is too, really smart women that could do whatever the hell they want to. And they chose to use whatever they want to, like, you know, make their brand. And I don't hate on that at all. It doesn't mean, like, people always look at like people like Grace and Paige and go, oh, they must be easy, or they must be like a slut, or they must be not very smart. And like, none of those things are true actually about Paige. I know for certain. And I've got a couple other golf influencer friends that they do choose that's how they do their page. They're like really good golfers, but they're like, hey, I'm going to show off what I've got. And I'm doing it because it makes me feel good. And if other people like it too, then that's cool. But it's really for me. And a lot of them get hated on. Like I got hated on too a lot when I first started doing this, because I am not 25. I am going to be 45 this month.
You look great, girl. Keep it going. You look awesome.
Absolutely.
And I would never show my midriff. Like in my 20s and 30s, like up until 2 years ago, like I was extraordinarily like insecure about my appearance. And I had no reason to do that, but it just was the way I was. And now I'm not. And now I'm finally starting to feel more comfortable in my own skin. And as I started like getting out there and doing things, I got comments like, oh, come on, Granny, what are you doing? You know, and like, leave that to the 20 somethings or whatever. And it's like, you know, I'm not making it for you. So I don't really care. And you can push follow just as easy as you push
100%. There you go. I love it.
Were you getting that hate more from the male or the female side of things?
Men, actually, which is really
why?
Females wouldn't tell me to my face. They're probably chatting with somebody behind my back, which is fine too. But I actually get a lot of positive affirmation from females that say, like, you know, be you. And my corporate job. So fun fact, I actually left my corporate job on July 5th over golf and over influencing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it wasn't a planned exit. Actually, it was a they tried to forcefully relocate me to the headquarters. They pretty much gave me an ultimatum and said I had to leave Seattle. And they told me a year ago that there was an invisible wall in between me and the next level, which was vice president, because executives in their organization are not golf influencers on Instagram. And I was like, that's fine. That's because like I had a call this morning with a app. And they said, we've done market research on golf influencers in the Pacific Northwest, and you're literally the only female golf influencer that has over 100,000 followers in the Pacific Northwest. So it's like, yeah, you don't see people doing that because it's not common, and it should be more common. But it didn't take away from my job at all. I was actually my division was the only division out of our 13 that was profitable and exceeding their goals, because commercial real estate's taken a pretty big blow since COVID too. You talk about business.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%. So let me ask you something. I see you have been to a bunch of golf tournaments on the men's side and women's side. What do you enjoy actually watching more out there?
That's tough because the women play so differently than the men, you know, so you're really watching two different things, in my opinion. You know, you're watching golf for sure, but the KPMG was incredible to watch the champions play. You know, to see people like, you know, Celine and Nelly and others, like their entire short game is unbelievable, you know, and to watch people hit bunker shots like that and approach shots like they hit is just something I haven't seen before. And don't get me wrong, the guys are amazing too. I really love the Boeing Classic. People kind of laugh at me a little bit over that. That's a senior PGA championship. But, you know, I've met a lot of the guys there, and just like watching them play too, it's like a different way to play as well, because they can't hit it. Well, I mean, I guess in the Boeing Classic, you get to see guys as young as 50, because that's the age now where they enter, and watching the way that they play the game versus the guys that are in their 60s and 70s is interesting, because maybe they can't hit as far, but you know, they have a different strategy around it. So it's really like, I think I like watching the PGA tournaments too, because just some of the drives and things that you see the men do are unbelievable. And like, I'll admit, like, I'm that person that, like, for the first 2 years, I've taken 65 swing coach lessons. I have a swing coach that I work with.
You look great, by the way. I mean, you have a great swing for just starting. Go ahead though.
Thank you. And I work on it a lot, but like for the first 2 years, the only thing I'd let my coach really coach me on was my drive. Cause I was like, I am going to get out there and I am going to crush a drive, and I am going to hit it 250 yards. And my coach is like, Rhonda, you just got to be able to hit from 80 to 100 to play golf.
Right.
Let's start talking about course management, and let's start working on putting and chipping, and let's start working on your fairway game. And I'm like, nah. And my handicap just stayed like way up here. And it's so funny because he said, you act like 99% of the men that I work with. He's like, you're one of the few women that does that. So this year I've taken my short game seriously. I've taken my fairway game seriously, because I've realized I'm seeing a trainer trying to build my strength. I've got to get my swing speed up before I'm ever going to consider getting over 170, which the longest drive I've ever done in my life with the rollout was in the 170 range. Right. So it's, but yeah, I had that bug where I was like, I want to be able to crush a drive like a PGA.
100%. We all do.
5 foot, 100 pounds, hitting a $170 is pretty good though.
Absolutely. All right. So men or women, pick your perfect dream foursome. I mean, right now, like, give it to me. That you're playing with. Give me 3 of them.
Okay. Like, and this is a little bit because it'd be fun to hear the banter back and forth.
Yes.
I'd like to play with Bryson DeChambeau, Roy McIlroy, and Nelly Corda. Like I would.
Nelly. So Nelly is your riding partner, correct?
Yeah, Nelly's not riding. Nellie's gonna carry me.
Okay, I love it. I love it. And then you're gonna hear those guys just banter and yell at each other.
Yeah. Well, there's so many. I miss Roy putts all the time these days, you know, and like it's funny because I'll be out on the court. One of my favorite things to do is to sign up as a single to go play with random people on a golf course, like, and I'll go by myself because 99.99% of the time I'm going to get paired with 3 guys or 2 guys, you know, and their facial expressions when they see me usually are like, oh, you're playing just by yourself? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, all alone? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you're carrying your bag? I'm like, yeah. They're like, you do that often? I'm like, yeah, like all the time. And then you know, you never know what kind of day you're going to have. So the first couple holes could be terrible, you know, and the guys are just like, oh God, you know, we're paired with this woman. But then, you know, as you start to miss shots or whatever, and you start to throw out kind of like fun facts, like I'll miss a 3-foot putt and be like, oh, I just pulled a Roy. Then like, they start to like loosen up and like,
God, I would love for that to happen. Right, Mikey? If me and you were up at a tee box and this beautiful single walked up.
What if she walked up to me in fairway on a Tuesday afternoon?
A fairway? Good Lord.
I play with this. I have a friend of mine. He's a retired truck driver. He's 72 years old. He has filter, no nothing. You would walk up, you'd be like, hey, who are you? And it's like he just doesn't care, and he goes off the rails. And like sometimes I just gotta walk away because I never know what's gonna come out of his mouth.
Roger warns everybody, the newcomers, about fairway.
Yep.
He just says, listen, there's this guy, he's old, he's short, he's miserable, but he really means well. I swear.
He sounds fun.
Yeah, he does. If you follow us, I'm telling you, if you follow the Pitch Putt and Puff and Upstate, you would get a kick out of all of us.
Okay.
Really I promise you. Forgive Pitch Putt and Puff podcast to follow as well.
Yeah.
He does the smoking cannabis end. Actually, he inspired me, Roger. I will admit it, with a Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. Mikey and I were doing the just the social media follow our Cape Cod journey type thing was where this whole thing started. And then I heard my name, Roger, doing the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast, and he was talking about me doing a review of a golf course on Facebook. What was it, Facebook?
Yeah, it was like a Yelp review.
A Yelp review or something. And I was like complaining, and I thought it was the coolest thing that my name was on.
It was crazy.
Get the review. What was the review?
I wish I screened now. I wish I screened.
It was, well, first of all, it's from like 2002.
Yeah, he's like, this place has anthole. This is my childhood course. It had antholes all over the greens. The memories I had here, and just going
are
on and
shot,
on and on.
are gone.
I'm like, oh my God.
I can't believe this has happened.
He gave this story on his podcast, long story short, and I heard it on the way into work. And I was like, Mikey, I was like, we got to do a podcast, buddy. I was like, and Roger had no intentions. He was kind of like I
was like Jamie to his Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he was like the tech guy and everything. I had no idea how to do any of this shit. I was like, Roger, I need you here. I said, all I know how to do is golf and talk. Like, I'm good at that. As you can see, right. But other than all the technical shit, like, I mean, now I'm a machine with the editing. These guys, I edited that. How was that video I made? It's pretty good, right?
It was great. No, I can't wait to show it to my friends. Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, I did a good job, right? See, so now, if you saw how I was 6 months ago, compared to now, asking this guy all the questions, like, how do you do this? I was literally sending him clips, and I'm like, yo, edit this for me, will you? So then I could post it back and forth. So Roger now is an official member of the Upstate Golf Guys podcast. I need Roger here. Listen, if you go back and you listen to the early episodes where it was just Mikey and I with guests, no, it was listen, they were okay. Like, they were okay podcasts. I did a pretty good. You could see where I evolved with this thing and got way more comfortable on the mic with my guests. And I mean, when I first did this thing, I was clueless, but it's fun to go back and listen to the first few and like be like, wow, I sucked.
Mikey, do you remember the first one? I told these guys when I was just sitting behind the camera, I said, Anthony went out of the room, and I said to Mikey, I'm not even going to record this first take because he's going to bumble and stumble and mess up so bad that I'm just going to let it roll. And sure enough, about 30 seconds in, we got to start over. We got to start. I said, buddy, I never
So
started.
I
knew
am
how
a
nervous he was.
perfectionist. How about the Freer Park episode?
That was a great one.
So we had this awesome episode done. I mean, where we break down our home course. Like, we killed it. Unbelievable episode. I was so excited for it. Now I go listen. We had really shitty equipment when this first thing came out, and I listened to it, and I'm like, guys, the recording is so bad. Like, I mean, it was muffled. It was just like we had, 5 below mics. Like, I went cheap at first.
Yeah.
And it just sounded like, so we literally
Low budget.
I'm like, listen, now we ended up having this new system right around that time and new mics and everything. I said, can we please? I got a big fight with Mikey about it because he said, just leave it. It's fine. It is what it is. I said, can we please redo the Freer Park episode? Please. Like, and
we had to redo that one. I think we did that episode twice. That was tough.
Absolutely. So tell me, I mean, a little bit about the companies you work with now. I mean, now's your time to drop it. Now's your time to give some plugs.
Yeah, so I'm not representing any of them officially today, but I'll talk about all the ones that I do work with and kind of a little bit why, or maybe not all, but I'll talk some of them. So, I'm wearing a Bogey Boy shirt. Well, wrong side here. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but Macklemore, if you know the singer, he is from the Seattle area, and he's really into golf, like super into golf, and he's super into fashion. And he came out with a golf line that's actually a unisex line, and so a lot of women though go in and they're like, "Hey, it's Bogey Boys. It's all for guys. It's for young guys too. In their 20s. It's not my jam. It's not my style." And the way that I got connected with them is actually not even through golf, but kind of through golf. Macklemore also has a nonprofit called Bridges that helps youth that have substance disorders get the resources that they need to rehabilitate and to be able to live productive lives. And one of the things that's like near and dear to my heart is trying to help anybody that doesn't have like a chance, like everyone else, or the same kind of chances. Growing up in Kentucky too, the opioid epidemic was huge. And I know it is up there in your neck of the woods too, because my sister lives actually in Long Island, and I've been up there quite a bit. And so it pretty much is bad all across the country, including Washington as well. And I was doing some work with actually Rivian, the electric truck company, because I was in their space in February, and I wanted to make an Instagram video of my pedicure matching the green on one of their electric trucks. And they saw me like making this video in the middle of their showroom. And the woman there offered to like open the truck up to kind of like help me with the video. And I saw these golf bags in the truck, and I was like, "Oh, wow, what are you doing with all this?" And she said, "Well, our trucks were designed for the 3 biggest hobbies of people in Washington state, which are golf, books, and wine. And Bogey Boys is Macklemore's brand. He's right down the mall street here. And we wanted to show that off." And so I told her about my women's nonprofit, which I haven't talked a little bit about yet, which is actually called the Pro Shop HQ. I'm on the board there. And Melissa, my friend who got me into golf that I mentioned, her and 4 of my other friends in my industry founded this organization 2 years ago in June. And our mission is to empower women to greater levels of influence through the game of golf and architecture, engineering, and construction. And goes back to what I was talking about earlier of, not seeing women on the golf course at these corporate, golf tournaments and trying to figure out why. We found out like most women are intimidated to play because they think they're going to be slow. They think they're going to be terrible. They think men are going to be mean to them. And what we do is really help them understand that's not the case at all. Like there is definitely more profiling that happens on the golf course, unfortunately, to women. It has happened to us even recently here in Seattle. It happens like I would say probably every other time that you're a woman on the course. But there are ways that you can, circumvent that and use it as an opportunity to educate. And our organization really helps women get the resources they need to understand like the basics of how to play golf for business, and then also how to deal with some of those situations. And we have a lot of men that are part of our group as well. And the men are there to try to help women see that actually there are a lot of really nice guys on the golf course too, that are respectful. And that have fun, and they can be a guy's guy, but they can still be respectful and they know their audience. And so
we're out there.
You're out there.
Absolutely. We are.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find you in your, Instagram handle, Ro?
Yeah, they can find me at ro.pollard, which is rho.pollard. And they can find all the other brands that I represent there too. Macklemore is just one. I represent a lot of female-owned and BIPOC-owned brands too. And every single one of them, for the most part, is either a woman-owned brand, a BIPOC brand, or there's something like Macklemore. Because a lot of people see me with a lot of PXG, and they're like, okay, wait, that's not a small business. That's a really large organization. Why do you do work with them? And the reason why I do is because Bob's wife, Renee, is very active in the community, and she does a lot of nonprofit work with women and children, and a lot of helping girls get into the game as well. And a lot of people don't know that the apparel brand is actually Renee's the president of that. And so it's woman led, which is really cool. And they help us a lot. They actually have been a big supporter of my women's group and donating clubs and simulator time and having, teaching them about golf equipment and things like that. So all the brands I work with, are doing something to make the community a better place and to make golf more accessible and more equitable.
Bro, I got a quick question. What's a BIPOC brand? I probably should know it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. It's actually, it stands for Black Indigenous People of Color.
Okay.
So
I had no idea.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah. And then, so like, for instance, one of my very most favorite golf gear companies is out in New York. It's out of Yep. I want to give a shout out to Vivanti Glove, Caesar, who owns it there. He's from Puerto Rico originally, and he designs his own golf gloves. They're really cool if you haven't checked them out. And again, he's a small BIPOC company that unfortunately he cannot get into any of the golf courses in your area. They will not give him the time of day to have a conversation. And
Jeez.
a lot of it is because he's Puerto Rican, and you don't see a lot of Puerto Rican guys out there on the golf course.
Well, we're here in New York State, so I mean we're not in the city end, but anything we could do to help out with the golf peoples, we're always helping out anybody. So
nice.
Let us know anything we could do.
Link us up. We'll get them on the podcast.
I'd love that. I would love that. I would love that. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome, bro. But we really appreciate you taking the time tonight. I know it's a Friday night recording. We love doing this. This is our hangout session, but I know people out there have lives, and you took the time tonight and
we appreciate
and chatted with us. We really enjoyed this one. Actually, it was awesome.
And as a dad to a little girl, helping the girls get into the game of golf, it's really cool.
100%. I got two of them. I got an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they both love it. So
I'm so grateful that you guys
You'll have to follow my I'll link you up with my personal page where you see more of my family and the girls. I don't put as much of the family on the podcast page. Obviously, I want to keep that a little separate, but my little girls are out there.
My son's girlfriend's just getting in the golf.
She loves it too.
So.
She's really good. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Seeing a lot of it.
Yeah, we're slowly seeing the ladies get into it, and I love
it's a good
seeing
thing.
it. We love following it, and we love seeing it. We really do.
I appreciate you using your platform to give me space to try to help me too, because it does take, and that's what I'm trying to do in return for people like Caesar. And I think when everybody bonds together to do the things like what you're doing, and again, I hope that when your daughters are my age like this, we don't even need to be talking about any of this, because it's just like a non-issue anymore.
100%. I get it. Yeah, I agree. So link us up with him, and we'll get him on the podcast and tell us the story for sure.
For sure. And
anything we could do.
Send me all of the info on all the other. I would love to follow and listen to the others, and chat again soon.
I appreciate that. Yeah. We really, I love that we all have the same thing in common, man. This golf is we love it. We're hooked. We're addicted. Love it.
Great talking to you, hon.
You
it was
too.
Really great, Rob.
Let them know where they can find you one more time.
Okay, yeah, you can find me on Instagram at rho.pollard.
Thanks,
awesome.
Ro. All right, Ro. Have a good night, Ro.
Good night.
That was definitely the wrong one.
100%.
This was one. Find your perfect putter and join the Lombardi family. Whether you have lead hands, the face on the TC PL22 takes the speed off the ball at impact. Or are you the type that leave putt short?
You can try the PC308. It has the weight you need to make it to the hole. You will find that Lombardi has something special for everyone's particular putting stroke. The 1985 is not only the most affordable club, but is the most beautiful. With a sharp red zinc alloy head and a steepless shaft. The Nasso 66 is one of the best-selling mallets on the market. It has a clean straight line finish to help guide your eye through the ball, straight to the target line. The head with a clean black mallet finish and a 60-gram mate shaft and a Lombardi 3.0 crown grip. You want a custom logo? Lee over at Wedge FX has you covered. But if you want to spend a little more money and make some magic happen, try out the new Diamond Mallet Putter. It's an absolute gem. This is a one-of-a-kind design and is available in the Lombardi Custom Shop. This head is made from a futuristic, top-secret metal. It has the center shaft which prevents pushes and pulls, and it is by far the most forgiving putter in the Lombardi custom family. Head over to lombardigolf.com and use Upstate at checkout for a hefty discount, or reach out to the Upstate Golf Guys as we are local representatives for Lombardi Golf. I'll tell you what. Magic has magic in my hands with that Lombardi diamond.
Listen, Mikey, you just put that Lombardi head cover on your head. We need some Lombardi gear, bro.
True.
I need to rock some Lombardi gear on the course too.
I know.
That is true.
Uncle Paulie, send me a hat.
Step it up, Uncle Paulie.
I see Uncle Paulie in all kinds of Lombardi gear.
Yeah.
He's got some fresh hoodies I seen him in.
I just want a hat. Send me a hat, Uncle Paulie, so I can rock it on the course, man.
He'll take care of us. He'll take it.
I love Uncle Paulie. I love busting his balls.
Just don't tell him don't tell him
turkey. Jive turkey.
Don't tell him that you don't need a Lombardi putter next time to hit those long
turtle?
putts in the intro.
Yeah, I did slip out. That was just busting balls.
He was just he knows you by now though. He knows you by now. He loves
God.
you. He loves you. Everybody knows RGB. But what about our guest?
That's pretty cool, man.
What about our guest?
She was awesome.
She's awesome. I'd love for her to walk up
I wasn't
to our
expecting that.
Listen, me neither. I would love for her to walk up to the three of us as a solo.
No, bro. If she ever walked up the fairway and me and fairway in a group, he would lose his shit. I was trying to keep it PG while she was on, but he would lose his shit. Hey, man, I'm not going to be able to play today, man.
She's going to listen to this, so give it to her.
I'm not going to be able to concentrate, man. I don't know what to do, man. He'd be stuttering.
He'd be all stuttering and shit.
Hank.
Oh, God. How about
am
Hank?
I going to make a putt? I'm going to 4-putt everything.
What about Hank? Yeah, what about Hank? With
Hank,
the stutter? Would he start stuttering?
Hank and Fairway would say switch groups and play in the group behind us or something.
Yeah, they would.
I love it. She's beautiful. She's not young.
She's brilliant.
She's really smart.
Yeah, photographic memory.
The graduating high school at 16 is crazy. I mean, looking in this room, we struggled at 17.
Associates by 19.
So and then have her associates by 19, finishing at IU, Indiana, University of Indiana, home of Bobby Knight.
She's done a lot.
Top of her class,
crazy,
man.
Dude. That's
for sure.
Crazy. A photographic memory though, that's wild.
Yeah,
to really have that.
I have to just make a little interruption right now. The Mets just won, huge game. We're coming down to this. We're coming down to the stretch, Mikey. It's
booyah,
official.
Grandma.
It's official. The Mets just won another one. Hottest team in baseball. Everybody's talking about
Stuart Scott.
Everybody is talking about the New York Mets right now. I'm literally putting on the TV every morning. MLB Network. They're saying nobody wants to play the New York Mets. I promise you, nobody wants to play us. Do they, Mike?
We're dangerous right now.
We are vibing.
No one wants to use you guys in the video game. I know that.
Why? My team's stacked, kid.
I gotta give you guys that Mets. I got a Mets the NYFD Mets shirt.
Yeah.
Or NYPD Mets shirt. I'll bring it for one of you guys. I don't know.
They just rocked that shit yesterday or September 11th.
Yeah.
Fire department hats and
remember how big that Yankee game was after 9/11? Remember how big of a moment that was? I mean, we're obviously
Mike Piazza
now.
Hit the home run.
Yeah, but like that whole city really needed.
Remember that, Mike? Do you remember when Piazza hit that shot?
It was unbelievable.
Do you think that was
Subway Series year too? 2001.
It was the year before.
Nah, the year before.
Okay.
2000.
Yes.
So listen, do you think that was set up though? Not the World Trade. I'm talking about the pitch to Piazza and the whole thing. Or do you think that was like?
Because they interviewed that dude and he said he wouldn't have did that. He wouldn't have thrown up a sucker pitch.
As a competitor, and even that's a hard thing to do.
And even at that, even if he did throw up a sucker pitch, it still takes skill to crush that ball the way Mike Piazza did. Even if it was
that
a
is true. Pitch. That was just a highlight moment in history, dude, when he hit that ball.
And it wasn't no sucker pitch. That dude just left one there.
Dude, that was
buddy.
That was a big moment in sports history. Both of those moments, Jeter.
I guess the dude that was on the mound is actually from New York.
Okay,
I believe.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotions in that game, man. There was a lot of emotions in that time. Do you remember like the few weeks after? Like, I kind of wish our country
was like
that again, man. Do you remember
unity?
The unity?
It's called the United States. It was called the United States.
I just remember. Listen, I do remember. I just graduated high school. I was living with Kareem John DeLee. Shout out John DeLee Realty. Dude's doing his thing right now, but I was living with Kareem on South Lake. We got evicted. Yo, how about we got evicted by his mom in that apartment? Legitimately for throwing too many parties. It was his mom. It was his parents' apartment building. And we had just gotten out of high school. And she rented us the top floor. So like there was the whole bottom floor it was literally like an attic.
I could see where she's coming from. I want to do a
500 a month,
too.
dude. It was the sickest apartment for 500 a month. But anyways, where was I going with Kareem? Where was it?
I don't know. You got evicted.
No, it was before that,
man.
man.
Mom evicted you.
That was before that, man. Shout out Kareem. Shit, I lost it, man. I totally lost it. I lost myself. I do it all the time.
It's all good, man.
I know.
Yo, back to Row real quick. That was a really cool episode.
It was an awesome episode.
Her making her way up in the Northwest, in the social media side of things, where there's not a big market for it. Shout out,
100%.
Taking advantage of an open opportunity.
Like, think about it. She's in Seattle. Rains a lot.
Rains a lot.
You don't get a lot of golf. Well, no, I seen her out there golfing.
But she's making noise in the social media side of things.
She's making big noise. Absolutely, man.
And that's a strong, like, and we see it too, like with the golfer girl gang and other girls with like Carol and Paige and Grace. I wasn't trying to bring up Grace's features. I was really just trying to bring up the shoe game. Because I can't stay.
I was just trying to bring up she's a good golfer, bro.
She wears the like schoolgirl socks with like some penny loafers out there, and I just can't. It just makes her. I don't know. I can't do it.
You can't get by it. You can't get past it.
I cannot get by it. It's like wearing black sneakers with white socks. Like I can't. Like that's a big like. Can't happen. But anyway, with her like knowing some of those social media influencers is really just going to help her keep growing in that side of the game, and having the 100%. Ties to Bogey Boys is a big company to be affiliated with. So. They're continuing to grow in the golf world. So
yeah, I remember, but I just told my listeners, I remember where I was going. I'm not that big of an. It was the unity. It was the unity in the United States. I was living with Kareem John DeLee after 9/11. Man, that unity of the states was nothing like it, man. And I remember banners. This is what I have to remember.
American flags
everywhere hanging off the balconies of all these apartment buildings, just everywhere. It's all you saw was red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue, red, white, and blue. And I mean, it's a shame that something like that happened. To bring unity, really is a shame, but really I never seen anything like it since.
No, man,
with a unity, we kind of now we're
that
just
was our Pearl Harbor for our age,
Yeah.
Right now the kids now don't know really much anything about it.
No,
I wonder what they're teaching kids in school about like 9/11 nowadays, like where like what age do they start telling them about it and stuff? Because I know like obviously our kids haven't heard about it.
Where were you?
Walking in, just parked my car at Hudson Valley. Was walking to like past the student center, and I seen like a bunch of people, like an unnormal gathering in front of the TV.
Yep.
So I walked over and just peeked through the glass. I didn't even go inside, and I seen like commotion of the first plane just hit. It literally like just hit, was just on the news. So I said, oh, shit. I lived like 5 minutes from school. So I was like, I'm going to fuck home. So I go home. My father worked like a swing shift. So he was home actually sleeping. And like there was a lot of, the talks on the news and everything else. And it was one of those things like you had the gut feeling like something was wrong. So I went and like I used to never bother my old man when he was sleeping. Like he worked such a crazy schedule like I work now. So I was like, gotta go wake him up right now. Something like I was like, yo, Dad, you gotta get up, man. There's some shit going on. He's like, what, man? I'm fucking sleeping. I go, yeah, no, man. The plane just hit the World Trade Center. He's like, what? I go, yeah, bro. I don't know. I turned the TV on in his bedroom. As soon as I turned the TV on, second plane, literally, bro, like within not even a minute of turning that TV on, the second one hits. His eyes opened a lot faster, and he goes, I'll never forget it. It's like one of those things in your life where you always remember like what someone said. He goes, someone's fucking us up right now. And then obviously later the Pentagon got hit and then so on. So, and my uncle was actually in the Pentagon at the time of the plane or missile or whatever it was that hit it. So
I was
we didn't hear from him for like 72 hours. That was a little, my mother was very nervous about
that's
that.
wild. No, I was at the store.
He heard me.
I was where I'm always am at the store. It's too funny.
Fucking arm missile. Arm missile.
You ready?
Same story though. Big crowd around the TV.
Yeah.
Big crowd around the TV downstairs in the financial plant at the time where the bank is now. It was like a financial firm.
Save a lot food warehouse.
I remember they had one of the old fashioned. There was no flat screen TVs.
Selecting groceries.
That's where you were?
Yeah. I was getting ready. I had a 9 o'clock break. And people went on break right before us was like 8:45 to 9.
Yep.
And I remember selecting, getting ready to look in. I'm like looking in to see what time it was, and they're all stuck to the TV. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm saying it's just like
it's not my break time yet. And then when it got to my break time, I got in, and that's when I seen the second plane hit.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I was watching. I was literally down at the crowded TV, and everyone was like, "What's going on?" It was
where you were. It was probably a lot of obviously
big
lockdown
crowd
and terrorist threats at that point.
100%. Or state office building. Yep,
everything was
everyone got sent home.
Arsenal was one of the highest alert things in the country at that point.
Yep. Yeah, it was a wild time.
I remember listening to Howard Stern because I was a big Stern fan back then, and I remember him fucking staying in the studio. Reporting on it and shit while everybody else was bailing.
That was man. Really, like when you think back to that moment, it was fucking insane, dude. It was something really like to think we're so safe and let something like that fucking happen. It's crazy.
So crazy. But let's not get into that sad, somber shit. This is a golf podcast.
Right.
I mean, it was around
Happy Friday the 13th.
That is true. That is true.
Here Friday the 13th.
That is true, man. We got golf all weekend. I mean, I have a 2-day event I'm really excited for. It's with the Golf Week Amp Tour, and I'm going to be battling Scrounge.
Yeah. Scrounge, shout out Scrounge.
Yeah, buddy. I'm going to be battling him. We've been talking shit all week about this tournament.
He let you have it in the rankings, man. I'm telling you, he let you have it in the rankings on the PPP podcast.
I love what he said, though, about with a heads up shit. With a heads up and the different list. It is true.
Because like we were saying, like mentally, if I start talking and like it's certain ways I would talk to people, like Bob, I would talk shit to. Hank, I wouldn't necessarily talk shit because me and Hank are cool. Like I'm not going to mentally try to fuck with Hank like by talking shit and intimidating him. I'm going to be more of
Hank. Don't seem like he's that big of a talk shitter.
No, but I would say to myself, like if we had a similar
fairway.
They both go at it. It's great, and I would say to Hank, like, yo. Man, or I'd walk past my putt and like walk past him like, man, that moved a lot faster than I thought it did, or that hole has a lot more break on it than it, and then that would get in his head. That's how you fuck with a guy like Hank. Fairway, same thing.
Yeah, man.
Fairway, I talk shit to though.
No doubt, I love talking shit on the golf course. I really love it. It
gets me going, dude.
It makes it better.
That happened yesterday. Kev shot a 40, or the Wednesday. Kev shot a 41 on the front. Kev played great. Shot a 85, one of his best rounds of the year, right? But on the back, he goes, I'm taking. We make the turn. He goes, I'm taking all your money. Fairway goes, you hear that? I go, yep. I went birdie, missed the birdie. I went birdie, par. So that's when I shot the 37 the other day.
Yeah, you focus, man. Fuck. I remember, I'll never forget one time, Mike, you really pissed me off. We got in a big fight. Like, it was at the 9th hole, and I think he said something like, "What, you bogey that? You bogey that, right?" And he always, I'm like, come on, dude, give me the par when I fucking get a par. It was like some stupid fight. So we blew up on each other like a couple holes later.
Probably was a bogey.
No, it was legitimately a par. I remember being mad about it. So anyways, bro, I went like fucking 6 holes in a row, dude, with pars on that back. I mean, the back nine for your par is a little easier, but I'll never forget, dude. Do you remember that, Mike?
No.
Not really. Vaguely. One of our friends.
Much.
Yeah, it happened so much. I don't remember that one. This was like 6-7 years ago, probably well before the Golf Week Tour. we got in a big, I don't know, it was something, dude. Because Mikey he didn't do it purposely. He just put in the scores, and I'm usually shooting fucking bogeys. So he just, whoa, you know, and I remember one time he called me the wrong way. I was like, come on, dude. I literally just said fucking, I was like fist pumped that I hit a long par putt. So it just kind of, you know how I get on the golf course.
Yeah, I'm looking at you guys here, and I mean, if you guys put that shirt and that hat together, that makes a great outfit, man.
Yeah, man. Why didn't you give that a shout out?
That is, man. That's high society. What's it? Highsociety.com? Or
This guy kills me every time. Is he making jokes
High
now?
Society Golf.
There you go, buddy.
Yo, I cannot remember that. My bad.
Always remember golfer, my boy.
No,
always remember
so
golf.
Sorry.
High Society Golf.
HighSocietyGolf.com. Make sure you guys go check them out. Use promo code Upstate15 for 15% off site wide. They got a bunch of dope shit on there. The shirts are fresh. They got a bunch of different options, styles. They got literally, if you're looking for a simple look, they got it. If you're looking for the louder look, they got it. They got the country club look or just the vibe look where you can wear it out.
Society.
Yeah, you can wear it not on the golf course, like a casual
100%.
look too. So that's what's up with them. The hats are fresh, as Mikey's got on right now. The rope hat, traditional rope hat.
Yes, sir.
He's constantly coming out with new.
Shout out!
new
I
stuff.
just got an outfit for our national trip. I put it right. Is it weird that I have a suitcase already packed for the trip starting, Mike?
Yeah, that's really weird.
Shit that I'm planning and I don't want to wear until then.
You want to know what I packed for Binghamton? At 4 o'clock in the morning.
So anyways, shout out. You know what he hooked me up with extra this time, and he probably knew he's some high society tees. My man gave me some high society tees, so he gave me a nice package. I'll give you a couple of those for our trip out there, and I'll take some pictures. He knows what I'm gonna do with those tees. He knows my man. He knows how I do it on this golf content world, and that I'm gonna give him a shout out when I use that tee.
Fuck, there's so much shit to fucking rep. We're gonna have to like dress 3 different times
a day, right?
You're gonna have to pull the May Brennan and do the wardrobe change.
Yeah, legitimately. Skull is sending me a bunch of shit.
Okay.
High Society sent me a bunch of shit.
She's got Rangers out there with a scope looking at her changing.
First 6 goals will be High Society. The next 6 will be Lombardi.
That's what you gotta do.
The next 6 will be Scald.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how you rep the
my
brands.
people,
you
baby. That's my
support
people.
the ones that support you. That's
it. That's it, guys. All right. Well, I know Mikey is working a side job. Speaking of our trip, to make a little extra cash tomorrow, so he's ready to
go home and play PlayStation.
He's ready to kick us the F out, and we have to do a little read here before we get out of here. Don't forget, guys, we have to try to practice this next read we got going on. So you guys listen, we do a lot of side work here when the camera's not running, man. We work.
We got to do a read.
We gotta do a read.
We got to do a read.
So don't put your foot out the door just quite yet, Raj.
Rainbow.
Don't.
No doubt.
All right, buddy. All right. Well, I love you all again. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Upstate Golf Guys Podcast.
518 to the Cape.
Yes, sir.